Thank you for joining me. My name is Liz, and today we're going to go through a full body yin yoga practice. I've got my two puppy dogs here. They're in their favorite yin pose that they do for most of the day. They're yin gurus. They can hold this for probably about 12 hours, I reckon, if they really wanted to. For props, I'm going to be using a bolster which I'm sitting on, and also 2 yoga blocks. If you don't have any of that, that's totally fine. I've just got a blanket underneath me today. It is a little bit colder here. So either a yoga mat, oh sorry Daisy, a yoga mat or a blanket. Or if you don't have any of those, you can just sit down on the floor wherever you are. If you've got cushions or pillows, you can grab them as well. So usually with my yin yoga practices, I would do a little bit of talking as we hold the shapes. I'm going to hold back on the talking a little bit today, get you into a shape, and we're just going to hold. And it's a really nice way just to connect into your body and really start to feel into what's actually happening in the shape, where you feel that, what the sensations are, how strong they are. And then it allows you to then go deeper into yourself. And that's really what we are, one of the things that we're looking to do with our yin yoga practice. It can be really nice to have talking and have a real sort of direction where we're going, or a kind of theme that we're working on. But it can also be really nice just to have the silence to allow yourself to go deeper into the shape. So I hope you enjoy. We're going to begin with some breathing, just connecting into the body. So either laying down on your back, just make sure that you can stay awake and aware, or finding a nice comfortable seated position. We're not going to be here for too long. It's making sure the spine can be long, shoulders are back and down, slight little tuck of the chin. You may hear some snoring throughout the class. That will not be me. That will be this little one here, Arya. She will most likely have a good old snore throughout the practice. If it feels comfortable, closing the eyes down, coming into a soft gaze. Just connecting into your breath. So for now, you don't have to change anything about it. Just finding that connection to the breath. Feeling it move into the body and move out of the body. And as you're focusing on the breath, doing a little check-in with the body, feeling into any areas there might be tension, might feel tight or stiff. Just knowing that this time that we have together here in the practice, it's an opportunity to allow yourself to release that tension, get a bit more movement into the body so we can release the stiffness. Start to smooth your breath out. So a little longer with the inhale, in through the nose. A little longer with the exhale, out through either the nose or the mouth. We want to try and maintain a nice smooth rhythm of breath throughout the practice. So we know that our nostril breathing is the best kind of breathing that we can do for overall. So your immune system, we've got little things in the nose that block little things coming into our system, and also little neuroreceptors in the nose that tell your body that it's okay to relax, it's okay to calm down. And that can be really useful when we hold some of these positions. It can be quite challenging sometimes in the holds. So just keep on coming back into your nostril breathing. Just taking a few more breaths here. the eyes are closed, gently open them. If you're sitting on a bolster or a block, just make your way off that support. If you're laying down, you're going to stay exactly where you are. Our first shape is going to be supported bridge. So I'm going to use a block today to do this. Oh, Daisy's out. She's like, no, had enough. So start laying down on your back. Bring the feet to the floor so the knees are bent, and then grabbing your support, so either the bolster or a block or a cushion, lifting the hips up off the floor. Bring the support underneath your hips, so you'll find an area, your lower back comes down, it turns into, you'll feel like your buttocks area, and then in between that there's a nice little flat bone called your sacrum, and you're going to rest that down to the support. You can take a little moment just to find that spot where you feel like you can relax into the shape. So find that smooth connection to your breath. Just check in, make sure the shoulders are down. I'm going to give you another couple of options and I'm just going to let you hold in the shape. The next option is to lengthen your legs out, or you can bring your arms overhead. You can do both of those or one. Thank you, Daisy. Thank you. You're so gorgeous. Yeah. Now just holding in the shape. Take a couple more breaths. And gently bring the feet back to the floor if the legs are lengthened out. Bring the arms back down by your side. Just take your time making your way out of the shape. Slowly adding some movement or maybe even stillness coming down to your back. You might hug the knees in towards your chest. Make your way up to a seated position. I was meant to be using the blanket for me, but that's okay. The puppies, it's important that they're comfortable. So our next shape is going to be butterfly. So I don't even know if you can see that. So I'm going to just show you from the side and then I'll make my way back into my position. So sitting onto your buttocks, it can be nice to sit on a cushion or a folded up blanket, and that just allows the pelvis to come into a bit more of a neutral position so the spine can start from a lengthened position. The bottoms of the feet together. If you're super tight in your hips or your thighs, it can be nice just to bring the knees down to some support, and that just adds a little bit more support so you're not feeling that super or lots of tension through that area. Option is to stay sitting tall or start to fold the upper body forward. So I'm just going to make my way back into the middle here. So using your breath, staying connected to the breath, and then focusing on the sensations where you feel them. The mind starts to wander. Just acknowledge that. Don't judge yourself for it. It's just a natural part of being human. The brain is thinking like it's designed to do. Every time you catch that, bring it back to the breath. Bring it back into what you're feeling in your body. Take a couple more breaths. Slowly start to press yourself up and out of the shape. Let yourself take any kind of movement that you feel you need. It can be nice for a windshield wiper with the knees from side to side. If you can actually move your knees from side to side, if you don't have two puppy dogs in front of you. And it can be nice just to roll the shoulders back, press down through the hands, lifting the chest. So reversing the curve through the spine. Just staying connected into your breath. Staying with that focus on your body. Daisy's out again. She might come back. Our next shape is supported fish. You can use a bolster or some cushions or some pillows and lay them down the length of your spine. I'm going to be using 2 blocks today. You can use 2 kind of sturdy big books if you don't have yoga blocks, or just make use of whatever you've got available to you. Whatever height, or I prefer to have it on the second highest point for each one. So I'm going to lay one block down that's going to sit just between the shoulder blade area, and then the second block will come to the end and the back of the head will rest there. So if you're using a bolster, you're literally going to lay the whole spine down the bolster. Feet can come out long, or you can come into a butterfly-like shape, or even with the knees bent, feet flat to the floor. So take your time coming into the shape, and then just experiment with what feels good for you to hold that position. And it might take just a little bit of rearranging with the blocks or the bolster or whatever you're using, just to find that spot. So it can be quite a strong sensation, but just kind of using or being your own teacher and figuring out if that is strong enough for you. If it's too strong, pull it back a little bit. If it's not strong enough, add something to make it stronger. And find the positioning with the legs either out straight, knees can be bent, or coming into a butterfly-like position. I really like the butterfly shape. Seeing how much you can relax into it. taking 2 more breaths. Just be really mindful coming out of this shape. Just bringing the feet back to the floor. Just slowly press yourself up and off. Let yourself take any kind of movement. If you're using the blocks, it can be quite a strong hold. Really nice though for the thoracic spine, opening up through the chest as well. Our next shape will be dragon with an option. So feel free to take it or leave it, whatever feels best for you today. It's not traditionally one that I see in a lot of yin stuff, but I did it the other day in a class and just sort of felt kind of fun, kind of nice, maybe depending on how you look at it. Option if you need to, having 2 blocks or 2 books, or even having the bolster there if you feel like you need a little bit of extra support for the upper body. I'm going to start with our right leg, stepping that around the outside of our right hand. So if you've got 2 blocks, I generally come up and have it outside the front foot. If you're not using the blocks and you've got that space, I come to the inside of the right foot with the hand. So lengthening up through the spine, shoulders are down. Lightly draw the belly button in. So there's effort from the upper body in this shape, letting the hips sink down towards the mat. So the option for us is to bend through the left knee, take your, press down into your left hand, reach the right arm up and over, grab hold of that left foot, and then pulling back. So that shoulder's gonna roll back. You might get a little open through the chest. So quite intense release for the front of your left thigh. So that is too much. Feel free to release it. You can even drop onto the outside of your right foot. Just check in with your left hand. Make sure wrist, elbow and shoulder line up. And you're not dumping down into the neck. So there's that nice kind of pressure down, shoulders away from the ears. Find that smooth connection to your breath. Finding the shape that works best for your body. So don't try to force it into anything. It doesn't matter if you're here or you're not. It's whatever works best for you. might be holding it for longer than you want to. Staying connected into the breath, the mind is going to want to try and come in and tell you that it's hard, that it sucks, that you need to move. You can command your body to be still, focusing on the breath, knowing that we're not here forever. You don't have to let the mind take over. Hold for 3 more breaths. Slowly release the back foot if you got hold of it, and then just really slowly shift out of the shape. I'm glad one of us is getting use of the blanket. Just take a little moment between sides. We do have to do the other side. Or we get to do the other side is one way to look at it. Setting up for the second side. So if you're using the blocks, use them again. You're going to take your left foot. If you haven't got the blocks, around the outside of your left hand. If you have got the blocks, it'll be on the, the left hand will be on the inside of your left foot. If you've got the blocks, on the outside. I think that's what I just said. Good, finding that position, pressing down through the palms, lifting through the chest, shoulders are away from the ears. Feel free to stay here. Option is you can heel toe that left foot out, coming onto the outside edge, the knee drops out, and then coming up, reaching around, grabbing hold of your right foot, and then gonna get a little open through the chest here. You might find that one side feels tighter than the other. So don't feel the need to figure that out now. Just acknowledge it, notice it. Focusing on the breath, focusing on the sensations in your body. Taking 3 more breaths. Slowly releasing through the back foot, making your way out of the shape. Taking your time coming onto your back. It's okay, Arya. Sorry to disturb you, sweetie. Oh, I'm so sorry. So we're going to come into shoelace, obviously a different version of. So your right foot or your right knee is going to cross over your left knee. And we are looking to line the knees up. If that doesn't happen for you, just finding that cross-legged position the best way that you can. Lifting the feet off the floor, going to grab hold of your ankles and then gently pulling them down towards the floor. Obviously you're not going to get them there. If you can, you're incredibly flexible, or you've just done something that I would be a little bit concerned about. Just relaxing as much as you can into the shape, shoulders are down. And you'll feel this, or you may feel this more in the right side of the leg, the one that's crossed over the top. It's around that hip, around the glute area. Finding that stillness, finding your smooth breath. taking 3 more breaths. And slowly releasing your hands from your feet, uncrossing the legs. Bring the feet back down to the floor, maybe a little windshield wiper between each sides. This will be our last shape for the class. Making your way into the other side, the left knee crosses over the right, lift the feet up, grabbing hold of around the ankles or maybe somewhere a little higher, just wherever it feels good. And then just adding that gentle pressure down. It'll naturally kind of happen. Shoulders are down. It's creating that tension through the hip area, or that line of pull. You might feel that really strongly, or might be subtle. Might be stronger or not as strong as the other side. And again, just notice it. Focus on the breath. Focus on the sensations. Taking 3 more breaths. Slowly making your way out of the shape. Take any last little movements that you need to. And either coming into your resting pose, laying down on your back, make sure you are comfortable and warm. I'm going to come into a seated position. So that is always an option as well, especially if it's kind of during the day or the start of your day and you feel like you may kind of get a little bit sleepy. Again, you can come into a seated meditation position. And we're just going to sit or lay in stillness, in silence for a few moments. Starting to deepen your breath, coming back, wriggling your fingers, your toes. If you're laying down, making your way back to a seated position, either in a soft gaze or closing the eyes down. Take a moment, thank yourself for making the time to be here. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that practice. A little more silence, which can be really powerful for your own personal practice. Namaste. Happy whatever day or time it is for you. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.